Welcome to Snapcast Episode 6, The Snapire Strikes Back.
We are now aware that this was a huge mistake. Star Wars Episode 6 was Return of the Jedi, not Empire Strikes Back. This episode should be Return of the Snapcast, which makes a lot more sense. This mistake won't happen again. We are sorry.
We're running out of Star Wars references. We only got one more. But we are picking up after being off for a while. We took a bit of a break, more or less just got really busy and couldn't pick up. So, as you can see, we've added a few really good additions. We've added some nicer condenser microphones and added an addition to the Zoom. So now I can record all audio at once and not have to really...
Quick question, Levi. Is the audio recording?
Yes.
Right on.
No. So it is actually recording this time. And yeah, we got a lot of stuff to talk about because there's a lot that happened. So to run through things, we're going to talk about some random stories. Some jerk talks about why he shoots Nikon on Petapixel. We're going to talk about the new drones, the DJI Mavic and the GoPro Karma, along with the Canon 5D Mark IV and the Panasonic GH5. The announcement of the specifications of the GH5, it's not out yet, but and we're also going to talk about some stuff from Snapchat and a whole bunch of other stuff, including an interview with our friend Tevin, who we use his music in pretty much all of our videos. So we got to sit down with him for a little bit. And
That's a good overview. It's going to be a lot of gear.
A lot of gear. We've been off for, I think, a month and a half since our last episode. So
a long time.
we have to catch up on a lot of things. So let's get into it. Roll the intro.
And the thunder would rage. This man's name was...
Okay, so the first thing that was on our notes was Squirrel Photobombs couples engagement photos. And I thought this was funny. Did you think this was funny, Levi?
I literally wrote, "That's funny" on the Google Doc. Because that's all my notes were. I just thought this was kind of funny.
It was funny. Yeah.
It's,
Are we going to pop up a picture from it?
Most definitely.
Okay.
And all links will be in the description on this video. So definitely go check them out because it is some interesting stuff.
That was funny. And also, just another real quick, trying to keep them quick. Tom Hanks photobombing the wedding photos. That was
really
awesome.
funny. Yeah.
Yeah. It was both cool and funny because he seemed like a genuine guy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and I thought that the whole squirrel thing it seemed random, but
yeah.
from what the article said, that the squirrel was hanging around for a little bit.
Well, the photo is really good though. I mean,
and
it's not like some stupid blurry picture.
The squirrel is like it's like it looks really funny.
It's awesome.
So I thought that was funny. Next up is some jerk talks about why he shoots Nikon, and I'm not going to lie. We shoot this right now. We have 4 Canon cameras and 1 GoPro shooting this.
And actually, we're shooting all Canon lenses right now. Sometimes we do shoot Rokinon.
Yeah, we do have Rokinon and...
that's it.
That's the
Canon
only
and
Rokinon.
But it's mostly Canon.
Right, but we're not biased. Personally, I have all Canon stuff just because that's what I started with. And, that's what you invest in. You invest in lenses and stuff. But this guy's he talked about some... This was on Petapixel, and he was talking about certain things. He's like, oh, the layout of the menus is nicer. The buttons just seem more natural. And it's like, they seem more natural because that's probably what he's shot on forever.
Right.
And I just think it was dumb to write an article about it. I really think it was.
Yeah. My quick take on it is I had a friend that shot Nikon And I tried using his gear one time because at the time he did have I hadn't upgraded to a full frame body, and so I wanted to try out his camera, and literally everything is the reverse. So it's like it's exactly what you said. It's what you get used to first, because like you spin the wheels the other way to make the aperture go up, and
the lens goes on
spin
the other way.
Exactly. You lock the
that one
lens the
blew
other way.
my mind.
Yeah.
And I will say, if you're going to argue anything, I'd say Canon makes more sense with that because it's righty-tighty, lefty-loosey.
Right.
So, but
Right.
it doesn't matter. And it's like, he was trying to say like, oh, that's why he feels more comfortable with a Nikon. It's like, no, you feel more comfortable with a Nikon because that's what you've used the most, obviously. If that's what you picked, you know,
can
then
pretty
that's
much
what you
get the
use
same
most.
image out of either camera.
Yeah. And
I mean, you'll notice some differences with their color, like their colors, you know? Like I think
neither
Nikon
camera's going to
favors
make
more.
a bad image
Right.
on its own. If there's going to be a bad image out of it, it's your fault. So
Exactly.
yeah, I just thought that was dumb. And I
Yeah.
wanted to bring it out. I wanted to talk about it a little bit.
Yeah.
Next up,
Robert has so much to say about all this.
yeah, Robert, what do you
I'm
what do you
so
think
tired
about?
right now?
Wake up.
I've got nothing to say about this. I've got nothing to say about any of these.
Well, you
except
will about
for-
the next one
Yeah.
because we have the DJI Mavic versus the GoPro Karma.
So you guys actually talked about this already. So
Link
you
to
should
the
be
video
You should be the
right
pros.
here.
But you know, give it.
No, it's over here.
No, it's over
Link.
here.
No, link's right here.
Who edits the video?
The link's right here.
I think it should be right here.
The
You know,
link
just for
is
that,
right
the link is right
Here.
here.
Aw.
But yeah, so we made a video about it. It was a very hot week this last week for drones.
It really was. It
Yeah.
was crazy.
Like impeccable. Sort of like when like March of the Penguins and Happy Feet came out the same year.
It was an epic year for penguins. This is an
Yeah.
epic week for drones. But we had the GoPro Karma and the DJI Mavic come out respectively. And I thought it was interesting that DJI waited to release the Karma until after
DJ.
DJI released the Mavic
Mavic after the Karma.
after the Karma. Because in my opinion, it seems to have done everything that the GoPro needed to do.
Yeah.
And what are your guys' thoughts on it?
The only thing I like both, and the only but I do like the DJI Mavic a little bit better. But
Okay.
the only thing that I don't like about it is the fact that it doesn't have the removable gimbal. Like
For
the-
me,
the Karma
that's why I
does.
like the GoPro just a little more. I think
Yeah.
I think they're both like
They're
I mean,
both really good drones.
Yeah.
I think when it comes down to it, they're very comparable. For me, the selling point with the Mavic would be like the features that like carried through from like the Phantom 4, you know, like the following thing and all that. But I would pick the GoPro one by a margin because of the gimbal and the parts, how you can
Yeah.
order different
Yeah,
parts.
I did
and
like
two, and two, because the camera is changeable, you can like, if GoPro comes out with a new camera that will still fit the mount of the drone, you get a better camera without having to buy a new drone.
that. But wait until they come out with a new camera and a new drone.
And you want
And
the
they're
new
not
drone.
they're not compatible. You know, wait.
Oh,
the
yeah,
camera
that's
won't be
true.
compatible with the
That's
drone.
true.
The drone won't be
Yeah.
compatible with.
I'd be surprised if it wasn't though.
They're both for me. They're both like I love the features of the Mavic, but it looks like the Karma would be a little bit more durable.
It does for some reason.
And
I don't
with
know
the
why.
removable camera, and there's a
Yeah.
lot more options with the Karma.
Definitely.
But
I-
the features that are built into the Mavic,
Right.
Especially
if
with
you could put those two cameras or those two drones together to
Together.
make one,
It'd be the best
it
drone
would be
ever.
the best drone on the market.
And I think definitely with what GoPro was going for, trying to go for people who were active, people, snowboarders, you know, let's just take that
Yeah.
for instance. The Mavic does everything that the GoPro needed to do, especially the follow function.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like the Mavic collapses a lot better. I mean, He had it in his pocket for like
Right.
the first 10 minutes of the presentation. Or whatever.
But let's be real. Both of them like collapsed. They're
Right.
amazing. I mean, comparatively to the Phantom 4, neither. I mean,
Yeah, for the Karma to be
Phantom
as
4 is
that big of a
stupid
drone and
comparable.
collapse to the size that it does
Right.
is pretty awesome.
yeah,
right.
definitely.
The Mavic is definitely more for traveling.
I
If
will
you're
say,
gonna travel and you want to pack light,
You know,
you'd bring a Mavic.
This might sound stupid, but it did look a little soft in Casey's video. The Mavic.
he had it out of focus. You have to select when you're in full manual. You have to select.
Even in
what
his
focus
second
point.
video where he did like the comparison with the 4 and the when
I
everything
think-
was 4K.
I think so. He said later on that he hadn't focused it correctly.
Okay,
that makes sense.
that would make
But
sense.
I will say this: the people who I have seen numerous videos, not only Casey Neistat's, but numerous videos of people who are drone pilots that are saying that this drone is now their favorite, even over a Phantom 4. That it takes all the features of the Phantom 4 and makes it so that it's just
It's fun size.
yeah, it's the
Yeah.
Phantom 4, but it fits in a very, very small spot.
yeah.
And I think right now it has the edge up. Of course, we haven't used these drones yet. Most people haven't used these drones yet, but that is going to be the important thing to use it. I think the grip is definitely a big selling point for the Karma, especially being that it's if it's behind a little bit on specs. It is a plus that you're getting a handheld gimbal as well as a drone, as well as you're buying a nice GoPro that you can use for other things.
Right.
But I think that GoPro they definitely needed the follow function. I thought that was a no-brainer. I thought that was definitely
Right.
going to be in it.
I mean, the thing too you have to remember is it is their first generation drone,
Right.
Yeah.
whereas
For first
DJI
gen-
has been doing this for
This
how
is their
many
fifth,
years?
fifth generation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're kind of like the masters. But anywho,
Yeah.
5D Mark IV.
5D Mark IV. So it's been, I think it was 4 years in between, 3 or 4 years in
Something
between
like that.
the,
I mean,
the
it's like a
5D3 and the
crazy-
5D4.
Crazy cap.
And I think on the photo side, it's definitely an update. There are certain generations of camera that come out that like completely change the camera.
Right.
This wasn't one of them. I felt like this was an update. You know, I think it was a good update on the still side. But the big thing that everyone's talking about is the video aspect of it. And so they added 4K video, which is good, but they made it give it a crop that's I believe is
Smaller than.
is even smaller than a Micro Four Thirds camera. And Canon's reasoning
ridiculous.
on it is they claim that they did that for low light capability because the more pixels you have to deal with, the harder it is to work with low light because you have to crunch it down, and that's where you get signal loss and you get data issues and things like that. But I will say this:
Data issues.
yeah,
Sorry.
they get their cameras have daddy issues. What can I say?
That makes sense.
But I will say this: the Canon C100 has a 4K sensor that it downsamples to 1080p and records to AVC HD.
This one or the
Yeah.
Mark II?
No, the C100, the regular one,
Okay.
has the same 4K sensor as the C300 and the C500.
Huh.
But it crunches it down to 1080p and compresses it to 24 megabits a second. And it is a very, very clean sensor. It is one of the best low light cameras. So Canon's excuse, I think, is a little like, granted, 4K being 8 megapixels going down to 2K is a lot less pixels than going from 30 megapixels down to 4K.
Right.
But come on. It's Canon. You know,
Right.
You have the technology.
they have it in the 1DX. They have it in the 1DX too. They have the capability, you know.
Yeah.
And they do have a crop mode in that, but it's less. And that's what I'm frustrated with, is that it's not a matter of, you know, they're holding back specs, is that they're making it where, you know, that's just ridiculous. They're making the 5D3 was a very nice camera to shoot with. For full frame video is very easy to fall in love with, especially shooting with the A7S II. Getting 4K and in full frame, it's really easy to fall in love with that camera.
For sure.
So I feel like the 5D4 could have been something really, really great, and Canon, in Canon fashion, unfortunately, handicapped it a little bit.
Yeah.
Now, from what I hear, the 1DX Mark II is a very nice camera to shoot with, but the 5D4 is not following in the footsteps of the 5D3. So
Yeah. It's
I
one of
think
those,
that's
if you had a 5D3, you're probably not going to go out of your way to get a 4. But if you don't have anything, you might as well go for the 4.
and that's if you're shooting video. Obviously, stills is a bit of a different story. But even then, I mean, the 5D3 is not a bad camera.
Right. What I'm saying is, like, if you already have a 5D Mark III for photography, you're fine. You don't have to upgrade. Whereas if you have like if you're thinking, I'm gonna go for that top end, you might as well go for the 4. In my opinion, I mean, you might as well get the best.
Yeah, I think that's important.
It's a little more future proof than getting one down, you know.
And I will say that the low light in certain videos I've seen, the low light is very impressive.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's as good as the C100 or the Canon Cinema series, but
For sure.
it's very, very good. So that's worth noting. Definitely check out Jared Poland's video. He did a shoot with it in studio, and there was one shot that he took in there was no light, and it was a grainy image, but it was good grain. It was it didn't look bad.
It still had definition.
Yeah. So we'll see, but in terms of micro four thirds cameras that do hit the mark, the Panasonic GH5. Now, Panasonic, they didn't release it. It's not going to be released until a year later. But they will. It is going to be a very impressive camera. They announced that it's going to shoot 4K at 10-bit 422 in their MP4 codec. I believe it was MP4. I don't have that. But the only thing that's is a bit of concern is right now that's only going to be at 100 megabits a second, and which isn't terrible for video. It's comparable to shooting like 24 megabits a second at 1080p. It's usable, but it's not ideal. Better. Yeah, and I think that's going to be the issue, is that especially Panasonic released Vlog. This might kind of bounce off you guys, but they released their Vlog, which is their log recording. So like Canon has C-Log, which is records to a flat profile, and Vlog was interesting because it was very comparable to something like a Red series or Canon series.
This is the
on the GH4 they released the Vlog codec, the Vlog picture profile.
That's okay. That's what I was trying to say.
So
picture profile.
Yeah, so that's really interesting.
It's like a flat thing that you can.
Yeah,
it's way easier for grading.
Mm-hmm. It's really nicer. It retains a lot of dynamic range.
What was the camera you rented for that shoot in New
The
York?
A7S. The A7S II.
And
that shoots to S-Log. That's Sony's log one, and that's
okay.
That
really
was
interesting.
Nice.
You showed me the raw versus like your grading, and what was interesting. What was interesting?
Still getting used to these new
I know.
Watch your pop filter. It'll jump up on you.
What was interesting about that to me, from like just dealing with stills, was that it was not only flat but almost a little desaturated. Mm-hmm. I thought that was kind of neat.
It does that so you have the most latitude in post.
Yeah,
so depending on the look you're going.
Yeah, it made sense, but it was just kind of. I mean, it was neat. I never saw that before.
Mm-hmm. Which is good, but you need it in 10-bit, but also you need it in a low compressed file. So I think that while it's exciting that it does all this internal, you're probably still going to be better off shooting to an external recorder and doing that. Now, if they do add a CFast, so this camera's not coming out for probably another year.
Oh,
but if they add a CFast card, they could go with a lower compressed codec. They could even go RAW. I mean, now the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera does RAW to an SD card, so it's possible there. So,
especially with the SD card we're about to talk about,
especially with the SD card,
right into the next topic.
Yeah,
who wants to do this one?
If you're gonna be shooting some crazy RAW or never changing your card for like
ever
a whole year's worth of weddings, Sandisk just announced the 1 terabyte SD card, which is ridiculous. A lot of the concern with it, like a lot of the reasons that people are saying they wouldn't use it, I totally agree with. Why would you ever want 1 terabyte worth of stuff on something this small? I mean, it's like That's just playing with fire, I think.
Yeah.
That's my take on it, at least. I mean, it's really cool. I can maybe see like backing up in Lightroom you can, you know, export a catalog of photos. So I could maybe see like exporting 1 terabyte of your like catalog and, you know, putting that in a fireproof like container, you know, something for like deep storage, deep backup. You know, then it takes up less space in that, and taking up less space in that application would be nice. But otherwise, I really don't see a like practical use for it.
Let's put this in perspective. If I load a 64 gig card onto the C100 recording in AVC HD, it gets about 255 minutes
Right.
of recording onto that. That's for 64 gig. So if you're shooting a concert, let's say, and you get 1 terabytes, you can load them into the C100, and you can do it redundant where it copies the file onto both cards. Suddenly you have all day shooting, especially with Canon with C100 batteries. You have all day shooting, and you won't have to change cards, which at big shows they have card runners, that guys that are just running cards back to the offload stations that do that. So I can see the benefit there, especially for a lot of the Nikon cameras that have dual SD card slots.
Right.
You can shoot redundant, you know, not eliminating a guy, especially for some of these festivals. If they can eliminate paying someone, like, you know, that kind of sucks, but if they can eliminate some cost in paying someone, it's kind of good for them. Or even just paying half the amount of people to be card runners that they need. But I think it's one of those things that it's bound to happen. You know, eventually we're going to have in 20 years, we're going to have a 64 petabyte SD card, you know, and everything's going to shoot raw, you know what I mean? Like, it's
raw 8K.
Right.
Yeah.
So, that's another thing about
the iPhone 74.
That's another thing about the GH5 I didn't mention, is that they have a 6K burst mode that can shoot 30 frames a second. And I believe it can actually
That's
shoot
ridiculous.
6K for 1 second, 30 images. I believe that's what it is.
That's insane.
So it's very insane. So I mean, possibly the GH6 would have, you know, 6K. So I don't know. It's getting crazy. Panasonic is pushing it, and with Sandisk behind them, there will be no end to the recording time.
Right.
Oh, and then the last thing was Snapchat glasses. I really don't know much about this because I only read one article on it. But
So basically,
Snapchat glasses.
you don't know anything about this?
No idea.
Okay, so this is what they look like.
Robert worked most of the day, so he didn't get to follow up on the story.
They're sunglasses.
Okay.
So a lot of people have been comparing them to Google Glass, which I don't really agree with that comparison hardly at all, other than the fact that it shoots video. Because that's all they do. They shoot video. They're, like I said, they're sunglasses. I believe they come in 3 colors. They're $130. They have a camera and then like a little ring light on them. And then there's a button on the hinge or something like that.
Huh.
And it'll shoot 10-second clips. So this sort of like basically they're not out yet, so the really simple discussion for that is, do you think they're gonna flop or do you think they're gonna take off? You know, like what's your hot take on it? You know,
Sounds pretty stupid if you ask me.
well, there you go. So
That's Levi's opinion.
Levi thinks it's stupid. What do you think,
From somebody
Robert?
who has no idea what this is, I think they will probably take off, but only for a hot second.
Yeah, like
They might be here right when they get released. They might be here for a little bit, but I don't think it'll last.
yeah. I
mean,
can see.
you know,
I could
a
see
lot of
that
people
too.
said that about a lot of applications that that'll never last, but like Snapchat, but it's still here.
Yeah. I don't know. I wasn't really a fan of Google Glass. I'm not a fan of wearable technology overall.
Yeah.
Like the Apple Watch and the smartwatches, I can get that.
Right.
To a certain point. But especially when it comes to the glasses and stuff, like I think there's only so many things that should
I don't know.
technology should be incorporated into. And I think it's just a little I don't know.
I'm
just
kind of
like
with
a fan
Robert.
of it.
I think people will. You probably will see some people with them
Yeah.
in the right
It's-
setting. Like
I have no doubt.
in cities, you'll probably run into kids with them on and stuff.
Yeah, if I
But-
had $130 that
To blow?
to just blow,
I totally.
I would probably get a pair, but I don't because I don't mind. Well, those are really ugly. Now that I see a picture of them, those are really ugly. But if they made those cool, I think that's the problem with the wearable technology, like glasses, is there's no style with them. I mean, Google Glass is just, you look like a total dork if you're wearing them.
Google Glass
These-
is terrible.
These look like women's
They
sunglasses.
do that. That's the only thing.
So-
That's the only problem I have with them. I don't think they're ugly. I just think they
personally,
look like
I
women's
would never wear a
sunglasses.
pair of sunglasses, if they didn't have a camera on them. I would never wear a pair of sunglasses like that.
Right.
But if
Well-
they made a cool, like, looking pair of aviator sunglasses that had a small camera on them,
And that's what they need to do. They need to partner
I
with
think-
Ray-Bans. And
I think you hit the
Yeah.
nail on the head, though. I think they look like women's sunglasses. Because like those
Yeah.
ones don't look. I don't think they look ugly. I would not wear them as a man. If
Let
I
me-
saw
yeah.
a girl with them on, I wouldn't think they look ugly though.
no.
I don't like them because I can't take a selfie with them. It looks stupid if I'm just holding my
You
sunglasses.
have to turn them
up.
around.
You gotta turn around. But then people can't see your kicking sunglasses.
Ah, you have to buy 2 pairs.
He's got a point.
Just look in a mirror.
Or you could just take a selfie with your phone of you with them on.
That's so stupid.
Anyway.
Anyway,
I've said it before and I'll say it again.
so that was supposed to be like a minute, and that took like 2 minutes. Okay.
Skynet is coming.
Skynet. Oh,
This
no.
is the beginning.
Oh, not
They
again.
will find us. Skynet is the enemy.
Here we go. Are you done yet?
Back to
We started
Snapcast.
talking about wearable sunglasses and wearable technology, and he goes Skynet crazy.
Because they exist.
Oh my god.
Yep. Okay.
They are coming.
So that was the last
They are
thing.
here to destroy us all.
I think.
Release me.
Are we talking about
And
the?
Anyway,
are we
back
talking
to
about the music video?
Snapcast.
Well,
Episode 6.
No.
yeah, let's go into our next point. And the question that has been proposed is, at what point is a cool idea gimmicky? And what kind of inspired this is more or less just an excuse to talk about this music video that I do not think is gimmicky. I think is a brilliant idea.
It was really cool.
I'm not gonna lie. I thought of it as soon as I started messing around with the app. So I will give credit where credit is due. I first heard of the app from James Gunn, my buddy James, the guy who directed
Yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy,
right.
Yeah.
and
Your personal friend.
you know, on Instagram,
Acquaintance.
he was the first person I saw using Prisma, but a lot of people started using it. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, wow, this is gonna be really cool if they ever get it so that you can do video with it. Now, there are a lot of copycats that have came out with video apps. One of them is called Lucid. I caught on to them. And they started doing video, but they're not as good as Prisma. But this, so the band Drive Like Maria. Back to the paragraph. So the band Drive Like Maria came out with, for their song Deep Blue, came out with a music video that they made using the Prisma app, but it didn't have any video functionality. What they did do though, they rendered it out frame by frame.
Jeez.
Which if you've used this app, you know that is not very fast. But it came out really, really good. And we're going to have a link right.
Here.
Here. No, here.
It's already up here,
I'm
buddy.
holding it though.
No, it's over here.
You could put it right here.
Okay, I'll throw it over to you.
Okay.
Good catch. Good catch.
Link's right there. And it's a really cool video. And I think it's a really cool idea. But the word, there is a time when certain ideas become gimmicks.
Definitely.
So what do you guys think about this? And what do you guys think? Do you give it a yay for originality or nay for gimmick?
I give it a yay for originality.
I give it a yay.
Because there was no video capability.
Yeah.
If it was just a dumb app that you could throw any video in and make it look like that, then I'd say it was a little gimmicky. I know that
Yeah.
might sound stupid that like, oh, because they had to do extra work, it made it not a gimmick, but I feel like that does justify it. Like they had to do a lot of work to make this video.
A lot of thought went into making it. It wasn't something that they just jumped into.
Right.
It wasn't an easy task.
They didn't just click a button and say, "Oh, that looks cool," and then say,
"Oh, that looks good." Render.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was like a full-on idea.
Yeah, I definitely think it's very original. Like, so I saw that and I was like, oh, I can't wait till they have a video feature. But these guys were like, hey, I can make a video with that. You know? So I think that's
they just did it.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I
think from like this point on now, if
now
other people do videos like this, it's like
you're just copying.
It's not the same. It's not original.
But I do really like this, and I think that totally original. I give it a thumbs up. Whose thing keeps going off?
It just went off once.
It went off twice. I heard it before.
Email?
Yeah.
That was the first email I got.
I
Maybe it was
guarantee
someone
you.
else's.
I will show you.
The first time must have been someone else's.
I don't think so. Anyway.
Okay. So the last thing we have is an interview from our friend Tevin. And
That T Plus. You may know him as.
Exactly.
On SoundCloud.
We or Levi said it sort of in the intro. We use a lot of his music, or we use
His
music in a lot of our videos. That's what I meant to say. And so we got a chance to sit down with him and
because that's all we can afford
and talk about gear, and it was kind of neat. Talked about where he started, what he's using now, and even now, after more and more years of experience, he's not using anything super expensive or glamorous, but he's making incredible music. At least, I mean, we think so. And so send him some love. We'll give a link to his page and everything, and we'll also have an interview right after this. So
it'll be right here. Fade into the interview. Ready? Make sure. Whoa.
Can that be the intro?
There's the intro.
I was dying.
You just lean forward.
I'm like so nervous, all this expensive equipment, and I'm like about to destroy all of it. Sorry. There we go.
So here we're interviewing our friend, That T Plus, as he will be only referred to on the interwebs. But this is Tevin, That T Plus on SoundCloud.
Hello.
And Tevin does really awesome beats and music that you can go check out. But we wanted to talk to him a little bit about his process, a little bit about his background, and how he comes up with music that fills our videos so often because he lets us use it for free.
Because I make no money and I never will. Why not?
Yeah. So Tevin, how did you get started with music?
Well, I guess it's like when I was homeschooled, we got free computers. So then, well, first, I used to only like NSYNC. So I didn't have musical preference until my friend Kyle Jacoby showed me Clap Your Hands, Say Yeah, this indie band. Yeah. And I was like, all right, I think I like music. And then I just started listening to a bunch of music. Then my brother gave me this song he got from an anime made by Nujabes, this Japanese producer. And it's called Rory and Dance. And it was the best song I ever heard. It was hip hop beats. And then I was like, all right, how do I make hip hop beats? So then I just I don't know, I got what did I start? I started out with program on my computer. Well, first I had this 8-track recorder and I made really bad music on this weird 8-track recorder that you record every track and then mix it.
Was it digital or was it tape?
It was digital. It was a Tascam. I don't remember what.
Oh, okay.
But and I made some really bad stuff on that. And then I had this junior drum set that I made really bad drum beats to. But I recorded
bad, not good bad.
Terrible bad, just not good.
Just distasteful or out of time.
I couldn't drum, so I recorded each part of the drum, kick drum separately,
and then
you'd
make a beat,
and then
out
I'd
of
make
it all
it
together,
and then I put it on my computer,
Frankensteining a beat.
Yeah, this sucks. So I went from that. Then I traded that for a desktop, and I got Magic's Music Maker, and then I used the microphone that the homeschooling gave us to like make noises, and there was no vocals because I wasn't gonna do that. And then like recorded my guitar through it and the drums again. I got this down after a while.
Yeah.
But and then I don't know. It kind of just escalated throughout the years. That was when I was like, I don't know. Probably in like preteens. I don't
Nice.
know the age or like grade because homeschool just kind of was like one big
It was all just one grade.
It was one grade. I didn't have summers. I just like did school, then didn't do any school for like forever and got behind. I was like, I suck. And then
Summer was like July through November. Like,
yeah, like Mom, do your school. Like, no, I'm making beats.
Nice.
So yeah, I did the Magic Music Maker.
So that would be like, that was kind of our follow-up question, was like, what software did you get started on?
Right.
That would be like that.
Magic
too.
Music Maker. That was the first software.
Yeah.
It was really easy, and that was when I first started like getting into like it had some small MIDI keyboard stuff, but like
okay.
I didn't have a controller to control MIDI. I was just using my keyboard and like playing stuff on it.
So this was circa like around what year?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
You don't know?
It was still like maybe like when I was around 16.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm like 24. No, 23.
So like 7 years ago.
Yeah, around there.
Yeah. Wow.
20.
So like 2008, 2009.
Yeah.
Wow.
I did that. I learned
That's
like
cool.
sort of using that junk, and then
Yeah.
I switched to Fruity Loops,
Okay.
and that's when like MIDI was like, that's when I figured out as much MIDI as possible in
So-
Fruity Loops.
So what do you use now then?
Right now, this year I just switched from Fruity Loops to Reason
Okay.
Essentials because I don't got that money. So, yeah, I did Fruity Loops forever and switched to Reason because now I want to record real instruments, real vocals, and like expand because Fruity Loops I felt trapped. So it was just like MIDI samples,
Yeah.
boring. So yeah.
So how much time now today do you spend working on one song?
It depends. Like, if I have an idea I want to get out, I kind of take my time, like a really long time. Like, I'll go like make something for like a week and then just be like, ding, I have an idea. And then I'll mess with it and then forget about it and then come back to it, and it'll take me maybe like 2 weeks to finish a song. Or like one song that I'm working on, it's almost done and I made it 2 days ago, and it took me like, I don't know, a couple of hours because I just felt it.
Yeah.
It just depends. Sometimes I'm just like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Sometimes you guess. Sometimes all your ideas click.
Yeah.
And everything happens really fast.
I feel like if I think I have an idea, I'm like, I want to do this. It never happens, and I'm just struggling the whole time. But if I just go in like, I'm just gonna make some music, then I'm like, oh,
It kind of
that
comes
happened.
comes out like organically.
Yeah.
Sort of.
If I try to make myself do something, it's just a disaster. Like, I'm gonna make a hard trap beat, and it becomes this super chill, flowy beat, and I'm like, what happened?
Yeah.
But I
It's
can't delete
interesting.
it.
It's kind of like, I think that sort of speaks to all creatives, you know. It's like on this channel we sort of focus on photography and video and stuff like that, and I think that a lot of people could identify with that, even not in music, you know. That they're like, the more you try to force something, the more like the harder it's. I mean, think of like different projects we've tried and stuff, and it's like it always comes out the best when it's like just flowing, you know.
Right.
Instead of like, we're trying to mimic this thing, and it's like,
Trying
nah,
to
it's
force
not.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It just comes out a mess, kind of, or just unfinished in some cases.
Usually just unfinished and forgotten.
Right.
But yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how long it takes.
What about some of your either brainstorming or like just your creative method? Do you sometimes find that, do you get into ruts, or how do you keep yourself fresh sometimes?
I think it's really like about the music I listen to.
Yeah.
Cause I don't know, I go on like I do get in a rut, and then I just quit for a while, and then come back. But I gotta change up what I listen to, because I would listen to a lot of trip hop, and it's real dark and trippy, and then I try to do stuff like that, and then I get frustrated and kind of just start listening to a bunch of like rock and indie music, and try to just get pumped up. But like, I feel like I'm getting off track.
So you would say like rock and indie is like more what really gets things flowing, or
sometimes, because I feel like there's,
or just only sometimes.
it's like what I wish I could do, but I can't, because I don't have all that stuff. I have like hip hop producer things, like the minimal amount, but but it like there's so much more creative to me. People like play in bands and do all this cool stuff together that it like makes me feel creative. And so that's what I kind of listen to, and that gives me more ideas. And then I like get pumped and I start listening to like more beats, and then I'm like thinking, how do they do that? And let me try that. But I think like indie music, like bands in general, like make me get pumped up and give me ideas.
What would you say like I mean, as your friends and like knowing you, so we like have sort of an idea of like what a Tevin song sounds like, like what would be like an artist or a genre that inspires you to like make that music, like that Chai though, or like what's the other one? Something Ramen, or Summer Ramen, like those sort of like that's like your sound. So like what makes that happen? Like
like I was talking about before, Nujabes. Like that Chai though is not really like him, but he has that hip hop vibe. He's more chill. He's more jazz hop, I guess. Like DJ Shadow.
Oh, I love DJ
Shadow. Just him and the MPC drum machine is just like the best thing ever.
Introducing.
Yes.
Yeah. Like that's the quintessential album of
that song.
The genre.
Like, I still don't understand.
Yeah, it's like it just like I mean,
like when it came out and stuff.
I actually talked with, not to like go off on a tangent too much, but with Aaron and I talked about that album a lot. It's like to like completely appreciate that album is like for so many reasons an album like that couldn't happen today.
Yeah.
I mean, copyright aside, like just like the artistry of it, it's like it just no one would pull something off like that.
Yeah.
But
do you ever feel like the amount of gear you have holds you back sometimes? Do you ever feel constricted, like you wish you could have some piece of equipment that would make you kind of be able to explore different places?
Yeah, like I have Reason Essential, so it's like less than half of the full program. If I had like normal Reason, like I used to be able to play, like when we did that one show and I had that segment where I played live drums and stuff. I can't do that anymore because Reason Essentials doesn't have that. And like,
did you do that with Fruity Loops?
Yeah, it was Fruity Loops,
okay.
Which it really isn't designed for. I just rigged it. But what happened?
No, it's on the back.
I'm back, camera.
Yeah. Good thing we have several angles. You can cut around this.
Yeah. I had to cough anyways. Okay, thank you.
Wrapping up.
Do you ever feel like, as a creative person, do you ever feel like that? Do you ever have to convince yourself that the lack of gear doesn't hold you back, that shouldn't stop your creative process? Do you ever feel like maybe it's better that you have to find a workaround to get the way done?
Like it makes you a better artist in a certain way?
Sometimes, yeah, because then I feel like if I get the sound I wanted, even though I don't have like a certain like a compressor from a microphone or something, I just like listen to the mix forever and just try to mix my voice. It feels good.
Right.
It would definitely be easier if I just had a compressor. That's a lot of money, and I don't really feel like investing in that because it's kind of just a hobby. If I could make money doing it, that'd be different. But yeah, like it feels good sometimes to just rig stuff and do cool, crazy things.
And so we use your music in a lot of our videos. Do you, how many people ask to use your music?
Just you guys and this other guy I know who lives in he makes blogs because he's in Bethel, Kevin Muncie.
Oh, right.
He was for a while. And then actually yesterday somebody messaged me on SoundCloud, was like, can I use your beat
Like a
for my
random
video?
person?
Yeah, I don't know who it was.
Oh, that's cool.
They wanted a song that they can't actually download because I exceeded my limit on my one song. My one song is kind of ridiculous. It has like way too many plays now. Like, it's kind of scaring me. It has like 10,000 plays. I don't know how it
goodness.
happened.
Which song is it?
It is. This is funny. The song that I told you that made me want to make music when I was a kid.
Yeah.
By Nujabez. I did a tribute beat to it. It's called Sebajun Dance, which is Sebajun is Nujabez backwards. And I found the sample he used, and I made my own song. And now everyone's like, it's a cool song, man. And it keeps getting plays.
That's
all
awesome.
the time. But just that song I made like 6 years ago or something.
It's like Levi's stupid GoPro video. No, I'm
Yeah.
kidding.
It
It was a good video.
I'm like, I think I should buy that.
No, it was a good video.
It's nice,
But it did blow up. Like,
Yeah, we're recording
for
this
us.
just after the GoPro drone video crossed. It's at like 4,700 views right now, which really,
for us is ridiculous.
For us is the most out of any single video like that we've ever had.
Right.
And we've been on YouTube for like
Year,
5
5
years.
years.
Yeah, I mean, there's been
Before
like
this, the
so
record
many.
was like the record like overall was like 9,000, but that was only because it was just like it was like a video we did for an organization.
Right,
And it was-
and so
so
they
it's like,
they
it
had it
happens-
on their Facebook and stuff.
Yeah,
so.
and they have like 12,000 likes on their Facebook page or whatever. But
Yeah.
and still, this is like the biggest organic video we've had.
Right.
But
You
anyway,
probably didn't even plan it, so you're just like, what?
yeah. So really glad,
Yeah.
I have a drum machine in my face.
Yeah. That was totally unplanned. So
No planning.
I guess for anyone that is a filmmaker or something that wants to use maybe not one of your songs, but someone's song, do you think there's a right way to approach them, to ask them?
I don't know. Like, for me, I'm pretty chill because I don't expect, like, I just make it for fun. Some other people, like, there's a lot of people who are trying to, like, get ahead with their stuff. So, I mean, you just got to ask them and be like, can I use this? And then they'll probably tell you, like, you got to lease it or something stupid. But
Yeah.
me, I'm just like, you can use it. Just put my SoundCloud link and I'll be cool because it's nice to see it being used.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm just listening to it in my car and be like, I'm not into myself at all. Just like listening to my hard work.
So yeah, I mean, I think that like dovetails to a nice conclusion of
Yeah.
look in the description.
Check out his stuff. It's pretty great.
Yeah, it's awesome. So yeah, it was really cool having you for a little interview.
Our first interview on this podcast.
Yeah,
Thanks
so
for
hopefully
having
we
me.
can like keep it going with different creatives and
Yeah.
stuff. That'd be kind of neat.
Watch this 47,000 times.
Yeah. Yes.
He's good at
that-
this.
is
He's
that camera
pretty good
even
at
on?
this.
Yeah.
he's-
That one is and that one is. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So we'll go back to our regularly programmed comment. Oh. We'll go back to our regularly. We'll go back to our regularly programmed content. So that was Tevin, and he's a really good lesson for not letting lack of gear hold you back. And because he makes really good stuff. And, if you don't have the best gear, if you don't have a 5D Mark IV or Mark III or Mark II, hey, it doesn't matter. Jake was making good stuff with the T2i, and I will stand by that. And we will link a thingamajigger to his website.
Wait, what?
Maybe.
Maybe.
So, yeah.
What about my website?
Well,
Not yet.
if
Not
you want
yet.
to, if you
Okay.
want to buy, not yet. We'll save
yet.
it.
Save it for another video.
Build suspense.
Right.
You know,
then
this
they'll
is,
want to.
This
They'll
is
be like,
storytelling.
All the comments will be like, "What is this? What's his website?"
Just constantly build suspense and never tell anybody. And just one day, a video will be brought to you by.
the thing.
Right.
Exactly.
So
We can't tell you yet.
that about
Soon,
maybe. Does it. Except
Levi, do you have any
one thing.
suggestions for us?
Let's go. I was gonna lean into it a lot better.
I liked my intro. Do it.
Between me and you, Jake doesn't know what the heck he's doing, so you know. Hey guys, can you hear me?
I have a better idea than Robert, at least.
Welcome to NPR's Radio Hour, TED Talks.
I actually really enjoy TED Talks.
Yeah, TED Talks.
I love TED Talks. I listen to NPR every day
Yeah.
on my way to work.
I used to make fun of my brother because my brother-in-law, he would listen to
Wait
NPR.
a minute.
He would listen to NPR when if I went to go stay with him and my sister for like the weekend, he'd listen to NPR the whole way home, and I used to make fun of him because like, oh, you're an old man. And now I'm
you're
like,
listening
the
to
most
NPR.
interesting part of my day is when I listen to TED Talks on NPR. It's like, so I'm an old man. But no, that is not a suggestion of the week. Our suggestion of the week is The World by Drone, a video that you can find on the Vimeo or in the description of this video. And Pachamama, as some may say. And it's a very, 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 very cool video that makes you want to go out and fly your drone. At least it did me. I don't even have a drone. But I just, stayed inside instead. But no, it's a very, very good video.
Steal Levi's drone. Okay.
And, it's pretty cool. So that about wraps it up for episode 6 of Snapcast.
Can we snap at the same time?
Maybe. We'll see you guys later in episode 7, The Snap Awakens.
And when he does, he shall be Benjamin the Victorious. Benjamin, the man who is, the man who is, the man to always will be. This is a message from your wife, a message told by